The trope of having introverted, antisocial characters, or maybe just characters that suffer from social anxiety, isn't exactly new to anime and has been done many times, and more often than not, it has been well received by viewers. But why do anime fans tend to enjoy this type of characters or stories? Well, although I can't speak for everyone, as an introverted person myself, I personally feel that this type of characters or stories can bring a sense of familiarity to us. We feel like we can relate to whatever they're trying to portray in a sense, and maybe even live vicariously through them to experience things that we might otherwise be unable to in the real world. However, it's rare to find one that actually does a good job at showing a grounded depiction of introverts, because oftentimes we get shows like Koumei-san, Classroom of the Elite, or SAO, where it's more for indulging in self-inserting fantasies rather than telling the true struggles of being introverted. That's why I was quite surprised by Bocchi the Rock this fall 2022, because despite looking like another cute girls doing cute things type of show, it actually provides a genuine portrayal of someone that is introverted, or in the case for the show, someone with social anxiety. The show follows a young girl by the name of Hitori Goto, or also known as Bocchi. Yes, her name is Hitori Bocchi, which basically translates to one person. She suffers from crippling social anxiety, fearing even the tiniest thought of interacting with another human being, and she pretty much doesn't have any friends. She decides to take out guitar and put on a performance before graduating, but her fears prevented her from ever performing, and she ends up reaching high school not accomplishing anything, although she did become a pretty popular guitarist online. However, she would meet Nijika Eijichi and was dragged away to join her band because their guitarist was a no-show. So she ends up becoming part of the band and even working at the music bar that she plays at with her new bandmates Nijika the drummer and Ryo Yamada the bassist, and later they will be joined by Ukuyo Kita the runaway guitarist. And the show basically follows their journey and seeing how they are able to improve to achieve their dreams of becoming a real band while making the most of their high school days. So yeah, a pretty simple plot about someone trying to overcome their fears to reach their dreams, but what makes the story special is the way in which the show is able to perfectly convey the struggles of people with social anxiety without making it feel pandering or victimizing. And although the show does present Bocchi's social anxiety in a comedic and exaggerated way, you'll never feel offended by it, because even though it's over the top, her behavior is something that most of us can relate to, and we can't help but laugh at how accurate it looks. Heck, when I first saw her procrastinating and making up excuses to avoid social events, or even her way of overthinking things and assuming that people hate her, it genuinely made me laugh remembering the times my dumb anxiety-ridden ass was doing the exact same things, although my reaction wasn't as extreme as her. And I think this is what makes the show so compelling, taking a serious theme like overcoming social anxiety and present it in a comedic way that doesn't make us uncomfortable but instead makes us connect with the characters as well as the story by being grounded. I think Bocchi the Rock is one of the few animes that manage to somehow accurately depict the mind of someone suffering from social anxiety without taking away the severity of it. From how we internalize our thoughts to the way we behave in certain situations, it feels like this was made by someone who actually understands how it feels to suffer from social anxiety. However, being a slice of life anime, the story can only go so far, and another reason I think this show is so entertaining is because of the characters. And obviously, Bocchi is the main focus of the show, and because of how relatable she is, you can't help but grow attached to her. From the start, we see what a complete mess she is, and yet she understands her own limitations and is constantly trying to overcome them. But life isn't that simple, and if you want to change, you have to really push yourself, and we see that in Bocchi. We feel attached because we understand her struggles and we want to see her succeed in overcoming her anxiety. So seeing her gradual improvement and development, or any time that she accomplishes something, it will give us a sense of happiness. Like seeing her in episode 1 barely able to perform on the stage without the box, but by episode 6 just now able to at least do a street performance, you really feel proud of her achievements, and it's that feeling that causes people to like her character. That said, although Bocchi is a good character, the rest of the cast are equally as amazing, especially her new friends who go out of their way to understand and support her. The show really takes the time to give them proper character development and growth, allowing us to understand their personality as well. I especially like how each of the girls are unique in their own way and represents a different personality spectrum. Like Kita, she's the typical picture-perfect girl and is a master with social interactions, but secretly is self-conscious about what people think of her and lacks the skill when it comes to her music. Ryo is the loner type character that isn't socially anxious like Bocchi and is perfectly fine with social interactions. Instead, she just doesn't like interacting with people and prefers to be alone. She's actually my favorite character in the show. Her dry humor and oftentimes weird eccentric behavior is really hilarious to watch. Her calm personality also helps contrast the personality of the other band members, and honestly, she's just such a mood. And as for Nijika, she's the polar opposite of Bocchi, the stereotypical extrovert that is socially adept and basically the normal one in the group. But as the show goes on, you can really see her passion for music and that she really cares about the band and her friends. And I really enjoyed how she has to always handle the other band members, and it's just funny to watch. It was definitely interesting that we get 4 characters with such a wide range of personalities coming together, and it provides a good contrast of how different people would react or behave towards certain people or situations. The characters makes the show so enjoyable, but honestly, the strongest point of the show has got to be the production quality, mainly the animation. Just from the way they utilize imaginative and energetic visual gags to deliver the jokes or to visualize the emotions of characters, you can tell that the production staff at Cloverworks had a blast animating the show. The characters are so distinct, having such a wide range of expressions, and they just emanate a ton of life. And all I can say is, the jokes never miss. Also, they really utilize the medium to the fullest, and I can safely say that the anime is definitely one of the few shows that managed to surpass their original manga, because it captures not just the essence of what made the manga great, but also adding touches and refinement in both the storytelling and presentation. Like there are scenes where they just outright change the animation style to real life, or even using freaking claymation. And one where Bocchi just starts to bleach out like she's experiencing cyberpsychosis, while in the manga it just shows her lying on the floor. Like the show just oozes creativity, and I absolutely love it. This weird approach for the animation definitely reminded me of something like the amazing world of Gumball. As for the sound quality, I think they are decent, but surprisingly, being an anime about music, there's not much of it. However, that doesn't make it bad because I think the story, characters, jokes and animation can still easily carry the show. Plus, I think it's a show more about the process of becoming a famous band, so maybe that's why they're taking their time and there's a lack of music. In a season filled with heavy hitters like Chainsaw Man, Spy Family, Mob Psycho and Bleach, Bocchi the Rock has every right to be a contender for anime of the season, and you can't tell me otherwise. Also, you might compare the show to K-On!, but I think that is a shallow comparison. This anime feels more natural than K-On! Could ever be, and even the approach between the two is totally different. Cloverworks clearly outdid themselves with Bocchi the Rock, and it's a really well thought out show with an interesting concept that charms you with the personalities of the characters, while making you laugh with the weird comedy. The themes of overcoming your own anxiety and message that you should just be yourself really hits hard. Honestly, everything about the show is amazing, and all the different aspects of the show culminated to make what could be a really depressing topic about social anxiety into one of the funniest and compelling shows to come out this season. So yeah, definitely give Bocchi the Rock a watch if you like seeing cute girls trying to fight social anxiety, or you just like weird comedy. I hope you enjoyed my review on Bocchi the Rock, and if you did, don't forget to give it a like as well as subscribing to the channel and hitting that notification bell to stay up to date with all my content. As always, thanks for watching and stay safe everyone.